Hello guys and welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be making another empire for our country, and that country is Chad. Of course, Chad is Giga Chad, so they're going to be making that Giga Chad empire. I do still have a few left. I'm doing Argentina and Pakistan, working on those. Argentina tomorrow, Pakistan today. If you have any new ones, go ahead and let me know in the comments, or any ones that I didn't just mention of those two. I've probably forgotten. And then they're going to slow down to only about once every other day, or once every day after the other day. English really needs a word for that. But Chad declares war on the Central African Republic, and honestly we're probably going to have to buff them a bit here, but not against the Central African Republic. This country isn't exactly what you'd call strong, and yeah, Chad just instantly begins to send troops down towards the CAR's capital. Yeah, not a particularly strong country. Chad is also, I know they're Giga Chad and all that, but looking at statistics-wide, this is the internet speaking, not me. Chad is not a particularly stable, powerful, or rich country. So we're going to try and change that here, but honestly, in real life, they could probably beat the Central African Republic, and even if they couldn't, we're going to be giving them a small buff today, because they are Giga Chad, and everyone knows that the world would obviously support them, being their Giga Chad selves. With that, they annexed the CAR, the Central African Republic. It's just faster to use the abbreviation. And hey, they just got like a third stronger. With that, they continued their push down Africa by declaring war on the regular Congo, just the Republic of the Congo. And Chadnese troops instantly begin to push into the north, as the push is long and hard fought, but the Congo's capital is within sight. They cut the country into two, although a majority of Chad's forces are focused on capturing the capital. A spearhead is made, the city is captured, and the Congo surrenders. With that, the great Giga Chad Empire now has access to the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, it may not be much, but they have something, and it's going to go and grow as they declare war on Gabon. And honestly, I don't know where their capital is, but at this point, Chad is only growing in strength, and Gabon is not nearly a particularly powerful country. So yeah, Chad is just going to go ahead and continue to push in until, until the country surrenders. Gabon, that's the word I was looking for. With that, they continue their rampage of all these, I'd say, Central African countries by declaring war on Equatorial Guinea, which actually, if you didn't know, that island is from Equatorial Guinea, not Nigeria, and not Cameroon. So although they quickly push into the mainland, as Equatorial Guinea is not a particularly powerful country, let's just say the Chinese Navy is not something to look forward to. If anything, it's quite weak and quite a bad navy. Who would have guessed? Yeah, it's going to take them a while. They actually decide to keep the peace treaty here and go ahead and declare war on Cameroon, which is their most difficult fight yet, but Chinese forces are powerful and they're fueled by the power of Giga Chad, so they begin to push in. Also, something I should mention before you go to the comments and start annoying me about it, this is an unrealistic scenario. This would not happen in real life. Multiple things have been changed about the world to cause Chad to be able to make this empire of theirs. With that, all of Cameroon has fallen, and with, of course, the help and donations that the world is giving Giga Chad, they finally make a navy strong enough and capture this Equatorial Guinean island. With that, both countries are annexed, and Chad is quickly growing into their chatty selves. Although honestly, I'm gonna miss the face. Yeah, there's a nose. There's supposed to be like a jaw here. You can't see it anymore since they've taken Cameroon, but in real life they do have one. Just check it. With that though, Chad is now seen as a decently influential African country, so on the continent, along the likes of the DRC, Sudan, Egypt, Algeria, Morocco, Nigeria, Ethiopia, South Africa. Pretty close to those countries when it comes to influence. They continue to grow that influence by declaring war on Niger, though, And they do attempt to send troops across the entire border, as they have deserts of their own and can train troops specifically made to endure desert conditions. But taking that land won't help them at all, and they begin to push into southern Niger, which is where most of the population is. Country is cut into two. It may look like one of these pieces is much larger and important, but this actually has much more population than all of this combined. With that, Chad's troops continue to push down until pretty much all important lands of Niger are captured, and after pushing into the Sahara a bit more, there are only guerrilla warfare groups fighting it out in the desert, which leads to the government surrender and the technical annexation of Niger. There are still some fighters over there in the desert, but politically and I guess legally, this is now Chad's. With that, the Chad Empire is growing very quickly, and of course they're preparing for war with Nigeria, but they're not quite there yet, so they continue to invade some of these weaker nations, with Burkina Faso being up next. Stands absolutely no chance against Chad. In the beginning, might have been a bit slow of a war, but here most of Chad's troops are already here in Niger, and we're quickly able to push into Burkina Faso and capture the country. They also decide that, hey, why let Nigeria get support? So they actually begin to expand their navy, and to continue this, they declare war on Benin and Togo. And hey, Togo, it looks like it's time to go because Chad troops are zooming down into Benin and Togo. Also, yes, that's a kind of a well-known joke, but hey, Togo had to go. Okay, you gotta say it. You got to say it. With all of this new land, though, Chad is now a very influential African nation and are preparing their final armies for war with Nigeria. They do this by declaring war on Ghana. Oh, look, Ghana's dying. The world frowns upon this, yes, but honestly, it's seen more as Chad trying to unite Africa and stabilize the continent than them trying to kill other countries for their own expansion, like it would look like in Asia or Europe. So it's not as frowned upon, but this is, I don't know, I mean, most people would see the Western media, so it would be very different than what you'd see in Nigerian media, which would probably be all like, Chad, horrible country, do not help, blah, 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 anything against them. With that, war is finally declared, and yeah, Chad here has troops on all fronts, and has actually been expanding their navy. It's not much, but it's able to completely blockade Nigeria from any outside help at all, from all sides. So this is just Nigeria. Chad can still get support, weapons, food, other resources. Nigeria is completely cut off from trade, is completely cut off from the world. We also see Nigeria having expected this, but due to Chad's quick push into Togo and Benin, they were able to push into western Nigeria, with most Nigerian troops being across the eastern border. Nigeria is actually going to be making a decent push into Chad itself, as Nigeria is quite a powerful country down here in Africa, and Chad is not. Even with all of their new land, they would struggle against Nigeria, although Nigeria isn't the perfect country themselves, so they are eventually going to be losing. With that, Chad begins to push into northern Nigeria, as that's where they had stationed a lot of their troops as well, over here near the border with that used to be Niger. With that, Nigeria begins to be pushed back heavily, and this causes Nigerian forces to begin to retreat out of Chad lands until Nigeria has been fully kicked off, and it's now just a push for the country. Although they're pushing in technically on all sides, they begin to focus more and more along the coast, until Lagos is captured, and after the fall of a few more very important cities, Nigeria finally surrenders, leading to the Chad Empire turning into the African superpower. It's no longer Nigeria, South Africa, and Egypt. Egypt and South Africa still hold good influence, but Chad is now the first go-to African nation when it comes to strength. We see this continuing as they just push into some of these, I guess, weaker West African nations. Like I said, not exactly particularly powerful and not exactly difficult to declare war on. Senegal is probably going to be the hardest of these, but it's still going to be no challenge against the great Chaddiness of Chad. With this, we also actually see no allies joining in on Chad's side, as especially in Africa, maybe not in Western media, but in Africa, Chad is seen as the total aggressor. Nobody wants to ally themselves with Chad, even if it would mean becoming Giga Chad. With that though, Chad troops push into all of these countries, and yeah, they're all soon annexed. Yeah, and also leave any suggestions on what you'd like to see in these. I'm starting to improve the thumbnails, hopefully, and maybe some of the actual video ideas. But anything that I can do to improve it, I'm working on learning how to edit, but that's still gonna be a little while. So yeah, just let me know. Yeah, Chad has a very, very powerful country here. And why not grow it even more over here into Western Africa by declaring war on Mali? Honestly, most of the countries here, they can't do anything and they know it. I don't even think they would fight. Chad's just gonna sweep into your country and kill thousands, if not tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people. Why bother fighting if you're just gonna die either way? With that, Mali is next, and we can really finally see why this is seen as the African superpower, until eventually something is done about this. And this video is already getting a bit too long, but why not just add in a new African alliance between Egypt, Sudan, Libya, Algeria, and Mauritania, leading to the only place that Chad can expand to be the Congo. Oh, look at that. The Congo has formed up an official pact between the East African Federation of Sudan, Uganda, Burundi, Rwanda, Tanzania, Kenya, and even Ethiopia joins. So yeah, they can't really go anywhere. They technically declare war on Angola and annex their little outcropping, which has some good resources and very important cities. If you ever played Hoi 4 and declared war on Angola, had no navy, that's incredibly annoying. You can't capitulate them without it. But yeah, this is about as far as Chad can expand due to alliances. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.